Hello everyone. Thank you for my comments about the last video. A few people I've seen it, my personal friends, and they said they liked it, and I appreciate that. In today's video, I want today's video to be mainly about something not mental health related. Otherwise, I'm feeling far more better and far more hopeful. I did give my number to a guy. Sadly, he hasn't called me back, but hey ho, that's life. In this video, I want to mainly talk about why is the UK cinema industry dying. Now, I mean those in the most strongest terms, but also the most lightest terms. Yes, on the whole world, the UK cinema industry is dying, sadly, but I want to say why and put my views on it. I've got no reason. I don't work for the cinema industry. I'm not from the UK cinema industry. I've never worked in a cinema, but I go to the cinema. Before this whole pandemic, I used to go quite a lot. And I want to put my views across. Why is it dying? Do apologise that it is Halloween and there are fireworks, and I do have a bit of a cold. Um, I hope it's not COVID, but touch wood. Um, so where do I start about this whole topic? Because it isn't a nice thing to say because we all love the cinema in some way, and we all have fond memories of going to the cinema and seeing one of our most precious and beautiful films made, and that whole experience and that whole that's Grace, that whole experience and that whole love and seeing something that we love on that massive screen sitting there. So why is it dying? Well, a few reasons I've got. I've got around about five main ones. The first one, it's far too expensive. Now, if you're in the UK, right, and you go to the cinema for one person, it's around about 6.50. That's not including popcorn, drink, and all that. For a family, it costs over £20. In some cinemas, it even costs more. Now, knowing if you have kids and you have yourself, what you're looking at for 2 hours, right, in the cinema, it's around about 40 quid. 40 quid. Now, if you are in the UK and you understand about the minimum wage, you understand that most minimum wages are not even 8 quid. Now, for a family of two kids and two adults to go cinema and pay £40, not including popcorn and drink, that is a heck of a lot of hours. And personally, people in today's world just can't afford it. And that's a sad thing. Reason two, the food and drink is far too expensive in cinemas. I've spoken to a few members at the cinemas who work in cinemas, and their mainly revenue is from food and drink. Now, you go to Poundland and you go to other places within the town and you buy popcorn for £1 or £2 in Poundland. And obviously, you can't exactly take it in, but some people do sneak it in. But if you don't, and you're there at the cinema, a tea is around about 2 quid, popcorn is like 3.50. The price keeps going up, and on that minimum wage, like, you don't have enough money to afford sort of your own sort of certain needs and all that out and about, but you want to go cinema because you really want to see this film, but you can't because it costs far too much money because of the food and drink. Yeah, you could sit there, without popcorn and drink, and you could just sit there with the film on. But then you get packaged. And have you ever sat in the cinema 2 hours long? I have, and I can assure you, you would need a drink or some popcorn. It's just the cinema. You're going to cinema. You want that popcorn and drink, watching the big, beautiful film that you really wanted to see. Thirdly, customer service. Am I the only one who thinks customer service in most cinemas that I've been into is just appalling? Customer service on whole, right, has gone downhill. When I was young, people said customer service is what makes shoppers come back, and it is true. But you go into most shops in the high street or wherever, this customer service is just horrendous. They don't sound like they want to be there. They sound actually they're on low pay, what's quite factual, and they just sound really unenthusiastic. The cinemas that I've been into, they don't speak. They're quite rude. They just don't are very helpful. I think within my time of going to the UK cinemas, going cinemas in the UK, I think I've had a good experience, but not the sort of experience which make most people come back. And that's quite a shame, really, because when you go cinema, you want it to be magical. You want to feel that it's good. Fourthly, I'm counting on my hand. Fourthly, the seats in the cinema. Now, my experience of going to a cinema is only one. Actually, a few. Actually, two. Two sort of types of cinemas, but I won't name the brand here. The cinema that I went to, the prices were quite cheap because I had a card, but I'd get on to that. That could be my sixth one, but maybe. Fourth, the seats. When you go into the cinema, you want to sit down on a comfy seat. When you go into most cinemas mainly do clean out, but they're not going to spend that much time there cleaning it, wiping it, all that. So the seats are sticky, the seats are uncomfortable, the seats are just quite broken because most seats in there are old, and I like an old seat, but not when you're sitting there for 2 hours, seats uncomfortable, and you just feel really quite... You feel like you want to stand up and just get out, even if the film's bad, then it's even worse. What's awful. So really, the cost of it's going up, and the time is being wasted if it's a bad seat. I went to one cinema in Torquay, and the seats were literally, instead of being straight or being sort of slanted up, they were literally facing down. I changed from one seat to another seat, and I was quite lucky when I did find a good seat. But then it's trying to sit in the right place to see the screen. And then when you move to find that right seat, then you're not looking at the screen properly. So there's that problem. Fifthly, hygiene. Hygiene. When I go into a cinema, oh my god, it is sticky. It is just really dirty. The toilets are just dirty and they need a good clean. And there isn't enough toilet paper. And I know this all sounds quite weak, but when you go to cinema, you expect to have good toilet, and especially in a pandemic, you want it to feel like good hygiene is the standard. Good manners from staff. Good hygiene. It's a bit quite of a weak one, but I still think that you need good sort of hygiene, and it's quite filthy, and that you need it to smell nice. 6. I know that I was meant to do 5, but I wanted to do 6, maybe 10 if I'm feeling on a roll. 6. People on their phone and chatting during the film. What? What are you doing? Get off your phone. It is a film. People are watching it. I see people on their phone, literally on their phone, sound off watching. Now, to me, right, I'm autistic, right? Well, I'm a high functioning Asperger's, but I notice things. That's probably a part of being it, but I don't know. I just notice things like that. And I know other people do, and it's annoying. Turn off your phone. Stop chatting and watch the film. I'm watching a film that is overpriced, with overpriced popcorn and overpriced drink, and I want to sit there in a bloody comfortable chair, but sadly it's not comfortable, with someone on their phone nutting and chatting. It is annoying. 7. What can I do for 7? The sound system in most cinemas are not that good. Now, personally, I don't know what a good sound system sounds like, but when I go into a cinema, it just doesn't sound that good. It just sounds quite bleh. Just sounds really quite like it needs to have a better sound system. Yeah, I think that's really all of it, really. I think I've done 7 actually. I think this could be my 7th. The interior of most cinemas are just so filthy, and they're so disorganized, and you don't know where you're going, you don't know how it is, you don't know which swing you're going, and if the staff are helpful, then that's good, but if the staff ain't that helpful, then you're there walking around, and if you're late, then you're there trying to figure out, and most cinemas are so hard to locate the right screen, it can be quite hard. But I want to move on to something a lot more kinder and softer towards the cinemas and why we need it. So I'm going from the negative, going on to 6 positive things why we need the cinemas. Going to the cinema is an experience of, it's just an experience. Going somewhere and watching a new film. And most cinemas, right? I know that most cinemas will have good seats. I know most cinemas will have cheaper tickets on certain days. That's my second. Cheaper tickets. Like I mentioned that the card, I had a card at one cinema that reduced the price. And sadly, the cost of the card and the ticket price went up. But sadly, still was expensive when you had popcorn and all that, especially when you're on a low income. But the cards can always make it cheaper, and that's what I mean. When you find deals, then do it. It's always going to help on the long term. When you have those deals, then the price of it goes down, 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 and it always helps. And to me, um, three, if I'm correct, three. Also, a lot of cinemas are addressing the problems of uncomfy seats and sort of bad sort of interiors. Where I live, they're building a new cinema, and other cinemas I've got better seats, but it still doesn't address from the hygiene part. But the cinemas are taking understanding that they need to get people in, and they need to understand that they are offering a lot more different wide range of things to collect from their restaurant or or food stands. So that's good. That will make and help people come. Fourthly, I think that a lot of people understand that you don't have to, in the modern world. And to me, I'm not a modern person. I like to speak to people. I like to go and speak to the to the employee, and to speak to someone. But if you're modern and you like technology, you can book your ticket online. What's always quite helpful if you're in a rush and you don't need to go to the stand and pay for it. You can pay for it of most sort of stand-up things. I'm not a technology person, so I am sorry. Yeah, you can buy the ticket quite from your phone or from whatever. What I always find modern ways. So cinemas are modernising what is somewhat good and somewhat bad. Fifth, people are more understanding towards the LGBT plus, especially staff members and all that. So that's a bonus to me. To me, being trans, I am a trans woman. That I'm always happy to, to find good things to say about companies. But companies are changing, and they are more open to the LGBT plus. What's always helpful. So that's good. That's another reason why to go to the cinema. I know other shops are doing, but if you have a cinema in your local area and it's full of transphobia and anti-LGBT people, it's never good. But things are changing, and you can now go to the cinema knowing that you've got the law on your side if you live in the UK. Sixthly, most cinemas are more about in your local area, especially where I live. I've got a few that's quite close to me. Most of them are closed at the moment. I don't know if the one close by me will reopen because of the pandemic, but who knows? I don't know. But if it does, then it does, and hopefully it will remain or try to be cheaper than it is, or trying to get cheaper. But I don't know, with the whole prices and pandemic, it's so much uncertainty. But that's just my video of why I think the UK cinema industry is dying slowly, but there are positive reasons how they can change. And I think if the cinema industry looks at its cost and pricing and seating and hygiene and customer service, then I think that it can do a lot more better. But who knows? If I did own a cinema, I focus on seating, sounding, customer service, and cost and hygiene, obviously. Because to me, when you go cinema, you want it to be reasonably good price or affordable. You want a good seat, and you don't want people on their phone napping next to each other, and you want it to have good sounding and good seating area. That's what I think, but who knows? Like and share, and please comment if you want to see which video you want next. Please tell me in the comments. Thank you so much, and see you all soon.